I'm going to start off and talk a little bit about our project, my views, what I think is important in terms of getting public permission, social license, social consent, whichever phrase you want to use. I like public permission. As you can see from the attention we get in the media, there is a new high standard reality for projects like ours. The regulatory, political, and public scrutiny is unlike anything we've seen before. Just 5 years ago, we completed the first phase of this project. The first phase of the project involved the looping of our pipeline through Jasper National Park and Mount Robson Provincial Park. We completed that over a 2-year construction period, 2007-2008. Trans Mountain was originally constructed to be an important link from growing Alberta production to refiners on the west coast of North America. 4 out of 5 vessels that leave our terminal in Burnaby go to California. Most of the exports that we export today end up in California, and it is a growing market. Canada and BC are establishing the highest standards in the world for regulatory review, involvement, consideration, environmental protection. We have to work very hard to meet that test that's been set out for us. We will have to work equally hard to ensure we have public permission and acceptance. Society should expect that challenge to occur, and the industry, particularly the industry I'm involved in, must embrace it. Thank you.
As you heard Ian describe, clearly the Canadian oil picture has changed dramatically. In fact, I would say the North American picture has changed significantly. We are now, as a country, very much in the global spotlight. It's based on the fact that we've been endowed with the 3rd largest resources of oil in the world. And clearly, the countries around the world are looking at us. I just came back from a visit that I spent 4 days in Taiwan, 4 days in Beijing, and then 4 days back down in Washington, D.C. And it's amazing to hear the perspectives of the world as they talk about Canada now. It's on their agenda. In fact, in Taiwan, it was quite interesting as they looked at it and said, you know, we're usually the less thought of cousin of mainland China, but clearly, we're building 2 new gasification projects, and ideally, they come on stream at the same time as some of the proposals here in BC for liquefaction projects. How can we get engaged in that? They also import 1 million barrels a day of oil and are saying, we're doing a national security review of the supply of oil that we have, and we want to put Canada on that picture because we don't want to be solely reliant on the Middle East. So it does put us in a place to be able to be in that spotlight. How we perform in that spotlight is absolutely critical to earning both the public permission here, but global recognition elsewhere. And as they look at it, they see the endowment of resources here, they see an open and stable government to work with, but they also look at it with curiosity as to why things sometimes take so long. And it's important for us to demonstrate that we're doing this in the right way rather than just in the most expeditious way.
I fundamentally believe that this conversation is about diversifying markets, and it's one that we need to have because it is a central pillar of what will lead to Canada's success, and it is certainly a central pillar of my government's agenda. But I don't want us to lose sight of the bigger picture. All of those investments that government and industry are looking to make in energy infrastructure and production in the name of market access will have positive effects for other sectors, for Canadians and for the world at large. And we must be very clear about that, because when it comes to this subject, we are in a battle for Canada's future. And we've become very familiar with some of the arguments that we hear, some of the arguments that I characterize as being on the other side of this discussion. Opponents of energy development talk about, in a very derisive way, about development and profits. But higher revenues mean increased spending on the cherished programs that Canadians use every day. Developing countries will go on developing, whether we supply them with energy or not. They can get their energy from Canadian firms, the most responsible and progressive producers on the planet, or they will buy it from places with lax environmental standards and no concerns about climate change. Canada is energy rich, Energy-rich in every province, every region, and every community stands to benefit from pipelines and from infrastructure that can move our resources to new markets. But we have to work together on getting the regulations right, on sustainability, on public engagement, and to ensure that we're building the trust that is required to realize this vision. Canadians will gain nothing if provinces choose to act in their own narrow interests. And I'm proud to say that awareness is spreading. The Canadian Energy Strategy was endorsed by premiers of every political stripe earlier this summer at our annual meeting. And just today, I am truly pleased to report that Premier Clark officially signed on. And Canadians will reap the rewards: a higher standard of living, secure employment, and a responsive public service, and a public sector that ensures a continuing high quality of life. Because we are not about to back down from our ideals and our goals and the dreams of the people that elected us. So I look forward to our discussion and to your ideas on how we can best move forward together. I thank you for this, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.